A massive wall of muscle bursts out from the forest, opening a sudden surge of action. Without needing a long buildup of speed, the grizzly bear quickly turns distance into overwhelming pressure. Escape paths fade, and even other predators respond with caution. In a world where a single mistake carries heavy consequences, that presence alone slows the rhythm of everything around it. And when the ruler finally steps into view, what hidden truth begins to unfold? The gray wolf is a master of pack discipline, often moving in family groups of around 10 individuals and maintaining pursuits that can stretch for miles across the cold wilderness. In contrast to the largely solitary grizzly bear, wolves survive through coordination, body signals, and endurance that rarely fades. Between them exists a quiet competition centered on food, space, and control over the rhythm of the wild landscape. Along a migration corridor, a remaining portion of food becomes the focus of a tense competition. The Wolfpack is usually the first to detect the resource, quickly taking advantage before the opportunity disappears in the harsh wilderness. But on the far side, a grizzly bear has already caught the scent of food and begins moving closer. Its arrival immediately shifts the balance. The wolves are not ready to abandon the reward they discovered first, repeatedly approaching to apply pressure and maintain access. In response, the grizzly bear holds a clear advantage in size and strength. It walks straight into the contested area, step by step guiding the wolves back to a safer distance. In the end, the pack does not withdraw completely, but simply yields the center to the larger rival. That tense balance keeps the North American wilderness moving within a harsh, yet necessary, natural order. The moose is the largest member of the deer family. An adult can weigh around 1,500 pounds, with long legs and powerful kicking force. In the wilderness of Alaska, that size alone makes it a rival that even a grizzly bear approaches with caution. A grizzly understands that strength does not mean rushing straight into danger. In cold, damp forests and river marshlands, it often follows quietly, watching for the smallest signs of weakness. The most vulnerable targets are usually young moose, or an adult that has lost strength after a long winter. But if the animal is a mother protecting her calf, the situation changes immediately. A female moose can respond with forceful kicks and heavy stomps from her front legs, strong enough to seriously injure a predator. Because of this, many bears choose to withdraw rather than take the risk. Only when a full-grown moose becomes exhausted in deep mud, slushy snow, or icy water can a grizzly gradually shift the balance. northern wild, success often belongs to the one who waits for the right moment, rather than the one who moves first. In the natural world, the grizzly bear is not only a source of caution for many species, but also one of the most formidable rivals of its own kind. These internal confrontations are not simply sudden aggression, but a harsh survival strategy shaped by genetic drives and limited resources. Salmon feeding grounds during this season are full of activity. A large male can weigh more than 600 pounds, carrying an extremely powerful bite and front claws that reach nearly 4 inches in length. Yet these encounters rarely begin as blind charges. They often involve testing, displays of presence, closing distance, and encouraging the other bear to step back before risks grow beyond acceptable limits. Tension rises when an aggressive male notices a mother bear feeding with her cubs. For grizzlies, this is no longer an ordinary encounter, but a particularly dangerous situation. The mother immediately shifts into a defensive posture, standing upright to observe, keeping her cubs behind her, and preparing to block any approach. During the mating season, cubs may face serious danger due to reproductive competition, especially when food becomes scarce. Beneath the open wilderness sky, strength is not always used to expand territory, but sometimes simply to protect the right to remain within it. The grizzly bear's diet is remarkably varied, ranging from plants, roots, and wild berries to fish and animal remains. But during periods when extra energy is needed, it also takes advantage of opportunities to gain protein from hoofed animals, especially young individuals, weakened animals, or those separated from the herd. The pursuit often begins with a faint scent carried by the wind. Rather than following over long distances, the grizzly quietly shortens the gap and then bursts forward at close range. A body weighing several hundred pounds moving across uneven ground can create intense pressure. The prey may still escape if it keeps a steady rhythm, but a single slip, a fallen tree, or a rough slope can quickly shift the outcome. When the sounds finally fade, the forest returns to silence. For a mother bear, that source of food does more than sustain her strength. It also helps support her cubs through the harsh months ahead. Across the wind-cut valleys of northern Alaska, caribou herds move like an unbroken living current. Many adults weigh more than 350 pounds, and large males can be even heavier. Their wide, nearly round hooves spread like snowshoes, allowing them to grip soft snow in the cold, muddy tundra, helping the herd travel long distances with a remarkable rhythm. Behind that flowing movement, the grizzly bear does not rush forward with impatience. It waits. When the opportunity appears, the grizzly bursts forward over a short distance, reaching speeds of about 35 miles per hour, concentrating pressure into a few decisive seconds rather than extending the chase too far. It does not try to break the entire herd apart. Instead, it lets the terrain do that first: an edge of water, cold mud, deep snow, or a narrow bend across the tundra. At that moment, the advantage begins to favor the grizzly. In this land, advantage rarely comes from speed alone. It lies in the ability to read the movement of nature and appear at the exact moment the formation begins to loosen. As bitter winds begin tightening their grip across Alaska, a vast continental migration surges into motion. Millions of Pacific salmon push upstream on a 500-mile journey back to their spawning grounds. For the grizzly bear, this is not a celebration, but the season of hyperphagia, an intense feeding period that drives them to consume up to 30,000 calories each day to prepare for winter. Amid roaring waterfalls nearly 6 feet high, a grizzly stands like an unmoving outpost. It does not rush in panic, it calculates. By reading the arc of each leap, the bear delivers lightning-fast snaps with remarkable precision. When salmon numbers peak, a selective instinct appears. The bears practice a form of premium selection, focusing on the most energy-rich parts of the fish, including roe, to build a fat layer that can exceed 4 inches beneath the skin. By late season, some of these powerful animals, approaching 800 pounds, move into shallow water to gather exhausted fish. The remarkable part lies in an unseen generosity. Grizzlies often leave much of each fish behind. Those nutrients seep into the soil, nourishing the taiga forests and helping sustain the next generation of migrating salmon. Within this demanding cycle, the grizzly bear becomes more than a participant. It helps renew the entire ecosystem. As the cold season tightens across North America, the grizzly bear retreats into its den after building enough fat to retain warmth and sustain life through months when food is scarce. This denning period often lasts about 5 to 8 months, depending on the region. Inside the den, the bear's rhythm of life slows dramatically. Its heart rate drops sharply, breathing becomes slower, and the body reduces energy use to a very low level. During this denning period, A female bear may even give birth inside the den in the middle of winter. The cubs arrive extremely small, weighing only about 1 pound, staying close to their mother and growing on rich milk. When temperatures rise and food sources return, the bears leave the den and begin a new cycle of survival. The sky opens like a silent battlefield, where altitude becomes an absolute advantage. An eagle appears, its wings locking into the wind, turning space itself into an unseen force. A precisely timed dive follows, where speed and angle decide everything in a split second. On the ground, the prey formation begins to falter, and the one that loses rhythm gradually fades into the grass. Within this harsh cycle of survival, who truly commands the sky? Hunting snakes is one of nature's harshest gambles, where the line between hunter and hunted is measured in fractions of a second. On sun-heated ground, species such as cobras and vipers coil their bodies like compressed springs, ready to deliver an instant response to any mistake. The contest does not remain confined to land. Far offshore, the same decisive grasp appears in a different form. When a sea snake rises to the surface to breathe, it briefly enters the range of the white-bellied sea eagle. The hunter calculates the refraction of light through the water with precision, then dives through the air in a single controlled descent. Talons lock behind the head, lifting the snake clear of the ocean. These encounters reveal a consistent truth. The ruler of the sky always finds a way to assert complete control. Under the harsh sun along the riverbank, the air seems to thicken. On the open ground, a lizard cautiously leaves its burrow to warm itself. For this cold-blooded reptile, temperature is not merely favorable, it is essential for survival. But exposing itself in open space also means stepping into view. From the air above, amber eyes watch in silence. The eagle holds a steady altitude, waiting with patience. There is no rush. Only when the lizard moves farther from shelter does the moment truly arrive. The decisive instant comes without sound. The eagle folds its wings and lets gravity lead the way. In the dive, speed rises beyond roughly 90 miles per hour, turning its body into a precise, guided spear. A passing shadow cuts across the ground, breaking the stillness of midday. If a final tail movement occurs in reflex, the strong beak quickly secures the head, maintaining control. The encounter ends cleanly, and the ground returns to its earlier quiet once more. Across the plains of North America, When winter blankets the land beneath a thick, white layer of snow, silence settles over everything. Standing out against the cold expanse is the fox, a compact survival machine weighing around 13 pounds. At this moment, its large ears rotate constantly like radar, capable of detecting faint sounds from more than 50 yards away, locking full attention onto subtle signs of life hidden beneath the frozen ground. That absolute focus creates an advantage, but it also opens a gap in survival. As the fox's vision narrows towards the snow below, the sky above disappears from awareness. From hundreds of feet overhead, a golden eagle recognizes that instant. It glides in silence, wings partially drawn, allowing sunlight and shifting air to conceal its approach. The decisive moment arrives quickly. The eagle adjusts its trajectory in the final second, using speed and gravity to full effect. Every tactic of the ground hunter loses meaning beneath aerial dominance. Wings spread wide, then close the remaining distance, asserting complete control from above. Coyotes, by contrast, often move in close to contest access near food sources or den sites. When challenged, the eagle expands its wingspan to amplify its size, holds just enough height, then drives powerful bursts of air downward, forcing the opponent to hesitate. Most encounters end with both sides retreating to their respective safe boundaries, a reminder that in the wild, victory is measured by energy preserved for tomorrow, not by display alone. Along sheer cliff faces, where oxygen becomes a rare luxury, the golden eagle and the wedge-tailed eagle are among the few predators willing to challenge large animals. With wingspans exceeding 7 feet and exceptional lift, they turn mountain slopes into a three-dimensional arena where a single misstep can be enough to reverse dominance. Their target is the mountain goat, weighing around 110 pounds, a master of balance and persistence. Split hooves and high friction pads allow it to cling firmly to rock ledges less than 3 inches wide, moving as if reading every crack in the stone. Here, danger does not come from speed, but from space itself. Every escape route is steep and painfully short. From the air above, the eagle observes in silence. Its vision can detect movement from distances of up to 1.5 miles, locking onto younger individuals or those that drift from the group. Encounters often unfold near the cliff edge, where advantage is as thin as a breath. The downward dive uses gravity and angle, turning the mountainside into a cold channel of pressure. When facing an adult that is too firmly grounded, a single close approach is not enough. The eagle must rely on calculated risk, working in pairs, shifting timing, and guiding the opponent to carry its own weight into unstable ground. One brief loss of balance is all it takes for the cliff to decide the outcome, and the prize is carried back to the nest, where the wind never stops moving. In the dense forests of Africa, monkeys are athletes of the canopy. Their bodies are flexible. Their reflexes are fast. Long leaps spanning dozens of feet allow them to move continuously between layers of leaves, rarely staying still long enough to reveal an opening. Living in groups of around 10 individuals, monkeys rely on height and the forest's chaos as their safest shield. From above, the African crowned eagle watches in silence. It selects its approach angle, using tree cover and shifting air currents to conceal its final movement. Hook-shaped talons close in a single instant. The encounter is not decided by speed alone. Within the dense web of branches, the crowned eagle navigates with precision, turning confined space into an advantage. This skill is sufficient to overcome even the most firmly anchored animals, such as sloths, whose claws can reach about 4 inches in length. When targeting sloths, the eagle approaches from above and applies a powerful pull to separate the animal from its hold, a method entirely different from its approach to agile canopy dwellers. The pursuit ends quickly, a reminder that even the highest layers of the rainforest have never been an absolute refuge. Across the sun-scorched savanna, life is measured in seconds of awareness. Bucks and impalas are dancers of the grasslands, staying in constant motion to avoid being fixed as a target. An adult impala weighs around 140 pounds, with powerful hind legs capable of reaching speeds of up to 50 miles per hour and leaping nearly 10 feet in a single bound. Yet that very speed can create openings. A newborn calf slips out of rhythm with the herd while crossing an exposed stretch of ground. Nearby, a martial eagle quickly detects the separation. It maintains altitude, watching in silence, waiting for the right moment. Without a protective ring and without sufficient reflexes, the young individual is immediately at a disadvantage. In another moment, the mother impala turns back, placing herself between the predator and her calf. Sudden changes of direction and repeated lateral jumps disrupt the aerial approach, forcing the eagle to reassess risk in an instant. On the savanna, prolonged hesitation is not an option, but one brief lapse is enough to shift the balance. The eagle uses the narrow opening, commits decisively, and lifts away from the ground, carrying the calf to a position beyond interference. The eagle rules the sky, with a wingspan reaching about 7 feet, and vision several times sharper than that of humans. It glides along rising thermal currents, traveling for miles while using minimal energy. Its curved beak and talons are evolutionary tools for control, not for display. Within the ecosystem, it regulates prey populations by removing weakened individuals, maintaining balance from a quiet height above. The frozen season closes, yet its echo leaves behind an unchanging rule about timing and the limits of survival. If you enjoy stories of the wild like this, you can press like to support the journey of discovery. You can also subscribe to keep following the next harsh seasons of nature. There, strength and instinct continue to meet, maintaining the balance of the northern wilderness.